take a moment to imagine our lives without the various types of transportation systems we're currently enjoying? Our forefathers rode on horses and camels, while those who could not afford it walked on foot for hours and days to get to their destination. Well, we're now living the dream, riding in cars, motorcycles, trains, and even flying by air. Well, it's been rosy. It's not devoid of challenges. The most recent challenge is the removal of subsidy on petrol, leading to hike in transportation sector. The good news is, experts are quick to say these are temporary challenges that will fizzle out as various government initiatives in the transport sector continue to unfold, even as government is deepening various measures to cushion the impact of the visible challenges occasioned by subsidy removal. Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News 24. This episode is beaming its light on the transportation sector. I'm Lydia Sampson. Our first report by Thomas Ogbetere is looking at how the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria led to several challenges in transportation sector. The inherent challenges, ripple effects on food, impact on workers and the general population.
Nigeria, as an oil-rich producing nation, has historically subsidized petroleum products to cushion the effect of price volatility and ensure affordability for its citizens. For Charity Orakwe, a mother of three and a businesswoman in Abuja, the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria is having a cascading effect on the various aspects of the economy, thereby challenging the viability of her business, especially the prices of goods, services, and transportation. This, according to her, is as a result of the ripple effect of subsidy removal, which has influenced other sectors, leading to widespread economic challenges across various sectors of the economy.
As I do business, go about my business, I spend a lot. I stay in Pape. By the time I reach town, I'll spend 1,000 coming, 1,000 going. Every bike now is 200. Any motor you enter now from wherever is either 700, 1,000, So how would then people survive? Even people doing business, like people who own shop, how much are they earning from shop? And they must go far to buy products to come and sell. So I feel the government should look into this and do something about this fuel subsidy removal.
Others are of the opinion that with the removal of the fuel subsidy, the prices of petroleum products, especially petrol, skyrocketed. This surge directly affects transportation costs, leading to increased fares for both public and private transport. Additionally, the ripple effect increased the cost of goods and services as transportation is embedded in virtually all economic activities. This is because transportation costs increased. Businesses faced higher operational costs, leading to an upward adjustment in prices of commodities. The overall cost of livelihood also surged, reducing the purchasing power of average Nigerians.
From here to Zuba before, it used to be 150 or 250 naira, but it's now either 800 or 1,000. From here to Buari, it used to be 200 naira. It's 1,000 naira now. From here to Maraba, it used to be 100 or 150. It's now 500 naira. Ask anybody. The commuters are not feeling it bad. They are not feeling too good. The transporters too, because when you go to a filling station to buy fuel, it's amount you find as the selling price that you must pay. The amount is not stable anymore.
Initially, if I want to fuel my car, I spend between 11 and 12,000 naira to fuel my car. But now, I spend 50,000 naira to fuel my car. Meanwhile, things are not changed. Income is still stagnant. So it's really a very big problem for us. So we actually want government to look into this area.
It affects all monetary transactions in Nigeria. One, it affected transportation. It affected food stuff. It affected all goods and services. It affected housing. You understand what I'm trying to tell you now? Some people now find it difficult to pay for the house rent again. It affects a lot, all the sector.
They reiterate that the removal of fuel subsidy in Nigeria, though intended to address physical challenges and encourage local refining capacity, has inadvertently affected everything and everyone. This, they noted, is worsening unemployment and poverty in various sectors of the economy. They are also of the opinion that addressing these challenges requires a holistic approach, balancing fiscal policies with measures to protect the welfare of the citizenry.
It is affecting me in buy food items in particular, because I have a very large family. Before, if I used to give my wife 7,000, 5,000, it will buy enough food that will last for at least a week. But now, 20,000, 30,000 cannot afford what you used to buy before the fuel subsidy removal. So that means hardship more than before. And there's no end to it. For now, everybody is crying. Everybody cannot even feed. If you go to the market, if you go to the food vendor to buy food, what you used to buy for 200 naira at least feel comfortable. You cannot get that quantity of food for 1,000 naira now.
If someone is in the hospital, how do you meet up? How do you feed the person? How do you pay bills? It all involves transportation for you to reach out to the person. We have not talked about school fees. Soon now school will resume. We have to pay school fees. Children have to be transported to school. Those who are using school bus, we have to pay a huge amount of money. Okay, now a salary earner that is earning 50,000 naira. How do you pay your children's school fees? How do you feed? How do you buy food? How do you go about your work? How do you fuel your car? So it's really terrible.
The immediate impact, according to some residents of Abuja, was felt in the public transport sector as bus fares, taxis and motorcycles, otherwise known as Okada, services increased, with operators seeking to cover higher fuel costs. Unfortunately, commuters, already grappling with rising living costs, had to allocate more of their budgets to transportation. This led to a situation where people either trek long distances to save cost of transportation, or contribute money to fuel one person's car to save cost, especially when they live and work on the same axis.
Before, everybody feels at luxury to drive his own car, but people now contribute money to buy fuel for a friend, so that a group of people will ride in somebody's car so as to ease the pain of the subsidy removal for now. You understand what I mean? People will now contribute money, living in the same place, to buy fuel for one person's car. Everybody will drop his car, so that singular person will be taking people to where they can do their job or do their selling or marketing and come back home. This is the type of condition people find themselves in this country.
I, for one, although the time I was using my own car, it was during Buhari time, I packed it because fuel, I cannot afford fuel. So if anyone that is using car and you feel fuel is too high for you to purchase, I think you should keep it. There's always time to use car. You should use your Legacy Benz. I think it will pay you better. Just like me yesterday when I went to market. The money I had money. I think I went to fix my phone. So I just look at this change I have. Let me not use it to take Okada, which is 200 naira. By the time I walk, I find out I reach where I was going, or which Okada used to take 200 naira. So everybody is using their head now to economize how they spend money for transport.
Most times I don't go out with the car. I only go out when I feel like maybe it's a late period because of security. But during the daytime, I had to go with along.
Some are also quick to say that inflationary pressure on goods and services, the increased transportation cost coupled with higher production cost, pushed up the prices of consumer goods items ranging from food products, household items to electronics, as manufacturers and retailers adjusted for increased operational expenses. They also enumerated some of the commodities most affected in the market.
Pepper, little, 100 naira. Very little, you can count. In fact, almost everything. Eventually, everything is very, very expensive. Like beans. Beans before is 500, but now beans is 1,500. So tell me, how are we going to survive? Rice before it was 600, now it's 1,500. Just a mudu. So how can we survive in this regime now? But I believe within a short while, this government should look into it, and honestly, they should do something about it.
I, in particular, we have never had this so bad, because before the fuel subsidy removal, they were still at reach. But with the first things skyrocketed, the farmers, the civil servants, the traders, everybody is affected. The commuters even. because to transport yourself from here to Kano now is more than 200% increase, and people cannot afford it.
Bag of rice that we do buy at the rate of 25,000 naira, 27,000 naira, it went up to 50,000 naira, 55,000 naira in some places 60,000 naira. Depending on how you are able to get it, because there's no food price control. No price control anymore. Everybody are just doing what they like. It shouldn't be like that. Government need to rise to this. Look at the transport situation in for instance, you want to go from Kuje area 1 to Kuje, which normally it won't be more than between 400 and 500, but suddenly went up to 1,000 naira. I did that. I went to even if you go to the airport, and you can imagine, before I can go to the airport with 10-liter fuel to and fro and come back, which was about a little less than 2,000 naira. But now, almost 7,000 naira. Who does that? How am I going to cope with that?
Because a lot of people, they find it difficult to get means for transportation from point A to point B. And even though eventually, if you want to remove the fuel subsidy, it's supposed to make adequate arrangement on ground, mass transportation movement for the masses, for the lower people, and affordable transportation for the lower people. Then all the commuters, those buses, Kepe Napep, supposed to use NNPC and PPMC mega filling station to be selling fuel for them at a lower rate, so that they can able to still make the price of the oil of the transportation lower to the ordinary people.
For Charity Orakwe and others, the resultant inflationary pressure has affected household budget. They emphasize the connectivity of the economy and the need for balanced policy decision from government.
Thank you, Thomas. Yes, we are not denying the realities, but just like the experts say, these are temporary. Well, moving on now, let's get more details from Ibrahim Bello Gunda's finding on why there is light at the end of the visible challenge tunnel. Please bring us up to speed on how government is finding ways to cushion the impact of these challenges in the transport sector.
The mobility of people, goods and services have been a fundamental component of human existence as an effective gateway to the growth and development of every society. Therefore, having an efficient and affordable transportation system helps in stimulating growth and development in all sectors of the economy. However, the removal of petroleum subsidy by President Bola Tinubu led to an immediate increase in petroleum prices, triggering chain reaction and spike in transportation sector, leading to higher transportation fare, rise in cost of goods and services, among others. To cushion the temporary effect of the removal of subsidy and reduce the hardship faced by Nigerians in the transportation sector, President Bola Tinubu's administration launched and introduced compressed natural gas vehicles as one of the cost-cutting measures and a roadmap to introduce 1 million compressed natural gas vehicles by 2027.
Mr. President's aspiration is to propagate the utilization of gas, and one of the issues that was discussed is the CNG utilization, and this PEMEDAP has been in the business of CNG conversion, especially in Lagos area, and now they are trying to collaborate with MGDIF to fund part of the infrastructure development in this respect.
The presidential initiative, there's one on CNG. We understand the plight of everyone. We understand the subsidy removal and the effects. So we also will be partnering with FEMADEC to be able to ensure the rollout moves as swiftly as possible.
I really commend the efforts of the government to introduce the CNG buses. You know, compressed natural gas is a lot cheaper than petrol, and it's even cheaper than diesel. You know, there's no doubt about that. That will bring down the cost. But there are some challenges, however, that need to be addressed to make this effective. One of the challenges that need to be addressed is, one, we are expecting CNG buses in Nigeria right now. How many Nigerians have been trained as technicians to handle the maintenance, the installation, the calibration, the maintenance of these vehicles.
The federal government further assures Nigerians that the introduction of CNG buses for interstate travels will significantly lower the prices of CNG to 230 naira per kilogram against the cost of petrol, which currently stands around 640 naira per litre, making it CNG an alternative fuel that is affordable. This is in addition to concurrently escalating plans to expand the use of electric vehicles.
We are looking at 200 buses for the first 20 universities, and we're also looking at 20,000 vehicles belonging to lecturers and campus vehicles.
A director under the NMDPRA, primarily to support private sector towards the development of infrastructure in the entire gas value chain.
This project is not only about conversion of vehicles, but also about generating employment opportunities. It demonstrates President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commitment to both environmental sustainability and economic growth.
It's a turning point for us today that Mr. President has taken this bold decision to move from petroleum to gas. This is the first step in the major change to come.
The federal government also inaugurated compressed natural gas conversion and training centers across the country under the Presidential Natural Gas Initiative, also aimed at reducing overdependence on use of petrol for transportation. The centers, some of which are already active, while others are in the pipeline, will serve as conversion center for all categories of vehicles using petrol to CNG, and in the long run, reduce the cost of fueling vehicles and transportation as well.
The Nigerian Institute of Transport Technology has found it as part of its national mandate to take active part in this process of transformation in our transportation industry. We have provided this center to serve as a conversion center to all categories of motorists, where they will come in and convert their vehicles to CNG.
When the boot is even open, vacant, they still overload. Now that the cylinders will be used to fill the space of the boot, what do we experience on the road? These are issues that we need to begin to address right now. When the government imports these vehicles, they should share the vehicles, some to the corporate organizations, the corporate transport companies. We have the transport companies, they can collect some. Then some can be given to the states. When they get to the states also should engage companies to run these vehicles, because government has no business doing business. The moment we have seen examples of state-run, state-managed transport system in the past that failed, how many of the state governments still maintain their transport system to today?
Nigeria, we have lithium, and we are trying to see how we can grow our local content component from the current state to minimum of 40%. And we can quickly achieve that by using the lithium we have in abundance here in Nigeria, because battery alone contribute nothing less than 50% of the cost component of an EV. So if you can do the battery here in Nigeria, it means you have even attained the 50%.
It's part of our goals as well to ensure that we reduce the price. That's why we need to encourage local manufacturing. Once we are able to manufacture here, of course, we can significantly reduce our cost. And then, of course, there are certain work that the agency will have to do, like taxes, if they can help us ease out taxes in the first few years, so that more Nigerians can. But with the work we're currently doing, we can assure Nigerians that in a very short time, EVs will be more affordable for all Nigerians.
The rail transportation subsector also witnessed the use of e-ticketing system to increase accessibility for Nigerians, as well as ensure standard guidelines are followed in accessing the railway services across the country.
Yeah, we've developed our e-ticketing to concession to 3 different people. Abuja Kaduna is different, the person providing it, or the company providing it different from Lagos, Ibadan, Tabero. This is to encourage competition and see how this free train ride, people still need to get tickets, but they are not paying for it. That is the only way to check overcrowding and get the people key into the e-ticketing system. So we encourage them and tell them to get your tickets At least you can get it 48 hours before your trip.
Nigeria's railway system is witnessing critical changes and expansion, with the introduction of standard rail gauge currently being constructed to link most states of the country together.
The fallout or the benefit of having a working and functional rail is not in naira and kobo, but the impact it will have on the socio-economy of a nation. You can imagine London without the underground and without all those things. They did it at a cost. Their people are now enjoying it. But if you still go and quantify it, not that they may benefit directly from it, but the benefit, the associated benefit quite override the cost of having them. So do we need the rail system in Nigeria? Yes. Why do we need it? To make the commerce and the economy grow.
Though there are issues and challenges with aviation fuel, this was quickly tackled through a series of meetings with the Nigerian Mainstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The hike in prices of airlines is still a challenge, though some could argue that the airline travelers are privileged Nigerians. This also greatly impacts the nation's economy as cargoes and other means of conveying essential products skyrocketed. Occasioned by the Yuletide season, the federal government announced free train services and reduction in prices of interstate transportation by 50%, also to cushion the effect of petrol subsidy removal, as well as to enable Nigerians celebrate Christmas and New Year with their loved ones.
President Tinubu wants Nigerians to be able to travel within Nigeria to wherever they want to go to meet their loved ones without the extra burden of paying exorbitantly for interstate public transportation. Nigerians willing to travel can board public transport via minibuses, luxury buses at 50% discount of current costs, and all our train services on the routes the trains currently serve at zero cost to and fro.
The intendment of this program is to bring succor to the passengers traveling on the major route. So we are going to run 22 routes on the luxurious buses.
This is part of the measures that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu intends to be doing. It's not a one-off thing. And even though it is targeted at Christmas, the President will continue to review situations, especially national holidays like this, and see what kind of interventions can come.
Stakeholders are unanimous in their resolve that the various transportation sector, if critically implemented, the various initiatives in place will further change the narrative for the better in Nigeria's transportation sector, a key component and economic enabler that will genuinely spark economic development across all sectors 2024 and beyond.
Thank you, Ibrahim Belogunda. Indeed, government is not unmindful of the challenges faced by citizens in the area of transportation. The proactive measures put in place will continue to unfold and provide the much-needed results, reducing high costs of transportation, as well as making transportation across the various sectors more affordable and accessible. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with another episode same time next week. Stay blessed.